Or Count. No, what was his name? Was it Dracula? Was it?
Count. The Count. It was the Count. Count Dracula. Yeah.
He didn't have a last name.
Whatever. But I think he had a castle. I think, generally speaking, vampires live in castles.
Yeah, they are. He didn't have a last name though. It was just a Count. That's right.
Count Chocula. Okay. Oh, hey, we're live on a Monday.
Oh my God, we're
Thanksgiving. Here. If you were expecting our guest, so were we, but he didn't show up. Isn't that always the way? Sometimes people schedule things, say they're going to show up. I make a thumbnail, I advertise the thing, and they don't show up. Robin, remember how that happens sometimes? Anyway, hey, America, it's the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin, presented by the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin. Hey, America, you ever wake up in the morning and go, hey, I want to be the greatest show on LinkedIn Live from 10 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. You can do that. Head on over to the ericandrodneyshow.com. Then you think to yourself, I'd like to be on many shows. I want to get my name out there, my message. I want to sell a bunch of shit. We can book you on 1 million podcasts. Go to the ericandrodneyshow.com. Then you're going, oh my God, I'm so good. I was so good at the Eric and Rodney Show. I was so good at these other things. I need my own show. Well, you know what? We can do that for you too. Head on over. You're never going to believe this. The ericandrodneyshow.com. Anyway, back to bitching about guests who don't show up.
Hey, you nailed the intro.
Again, thank you.
Now, here's the question I have really quick. So what you're saying is that you could potentially come on this show.
Yes.
In addition to coming on this show, you could go on other shows.
Oh my God.
And you could get your own show.
Fame sells, Rodney. Fame sells. This is the reason we're doing this. This is the reason we're offering this service. But you got to have balls. You got to show up. You got to say, I'm going to go on a show. And they got to show up at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
And you can't be a BDI.
You can't be a big, dumb idiot. Whatever you do, don't be a big, dumb idiot. Oh, boy. Hey. All right. No guests. 3 of us. We can handle this. We've done it before.
We're the 3 amigos.
We are. Yeah. Robin, what's Filipino for amigo? That's friend. What's friend? I think, right?
Yeah.
Well, everyone's whether you're related to them or not. Kuya, which translates to brother.
Guya?
So we just say kuya.
Kuya with a 3. Kuya. Yeah, the 3 Kuya boys.
How do you say 3?
Tatlo.
Tatlo kupya. What is it? Say it now. Say the whole thing. Say it.
They're the 3 amigos in Filipinos.
Tatlong kuyas.
Yes, OnlyFans counts as your own show. Best $12.99 I spend every month, Melissa. Thank you very much. You're doing God's work.
What Rodney just said was very close to a slur.
What'd you say? Say it again.
It is? Wait, I don't even know what I say it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that's not Bernie, is it?
No, it's Odie. And he's every time. He doesn't give a shit about me until it's showtime.
You know what it is? He wants a show. It's obvious.
He should head on over. Hold on to the ericandrodneyshow.com. From nominal fee, you can do whatever you want. All right. Hey, boy, do we have a lot to cover today. Not really. We don't have a guest. But as you guys know, every day, some reason to celebrate. This is a bad one, though. I have bad news for all of us. We have a bill to pay. It's National Pay Back Your Parents' Day. Did you know this was a thing? Did you know that despite the fact that we didn't ask to be born, we owe people some money, i.e. our parents? I did some math on this because I find math endlessly entertaining. So according to the internet, it costs $280,000 to raise a child from the ages of 0 to 18. So that does not include college. Okay. Good news, bad news. The good news is we owe, the bad news is we owe a bunch of money. The good news is $280,000 is not the right amount. It has to be way more than that because I ran the numbers. So just for example, the average daycare cost in Massachusetts, $1,700 a month. Okay. So if you pay $1,700 a month from the ages of 0 to 6, which is essentially what we do, that's $122,000. That only leaves $157,000 for 0 to 18, which works out to $726 a month.
And then let's be honest, $157,600 would only cover the first 2 years of college.
Yeah. Well, this is without college. But this is healthcare, toys, food, clothes. You're telling me you can spend $726 a month and cover all that shit? Bullshit. Kids are outrageously expensive.
Well, now hold on. Me and Robin sponsored children, and they said it's $1 a day.
$1 for a cup of coffee. You can sponsor children in the Philippines.
I used to think that all the time. They would be like for 30 cents a day, and I'm like, how much did it cost to make this commercial? Just give them that money.
Yeah, it was the price of coffee too. What's that?
Who's coming up with the math for this crap? Like 30 cents a day.
No one ever thinks.
Idiots.
Idiots. This doesn't make any sense. $726 a month per child. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God.
Get out.
I'm curious, what are the statistics like of having like a dual income family and a family that has a housewife in America? Is it like 50-50?
A housewife? Oh, like a
How
stay-at-home
common is-
mother?
Robin, are you trying to get us canceled?
You can't
say that.
What?
Very no, you can't.
No, people.
You're
No,
gonna
no.
say, stay-at-home parent. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or you say, or you say house manager.
House manager. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah.
How many?
I guess the stigma in the Philippines is very different because we look at our house managers as very like important parts of our community because they're raising the children. We don't send them to daycare. There's no real daycare in the Philippines. We don't have that.
Oh my God, Robin!
He's back again.
In the ass. All right, I have the numbers. 28% of mothers stay home and 7% of fathers. That seems high for. I don't know how everything's so expensive. How the fuck do you not have a 2-income family, especially with children? I don't know if I mentioned this, but it costs $280,000 to raise a child. That's wrong. I think it's going to be about 400. I would say $400,000.
I was thinking a couple million, but yeah, I mean, like, who knows, right? Between college and everything else.
It's called a homemaker, Robin. Jesus.
Homemaker, Robin, please.
You're shit. Professional homemaker.
You're trying to get us canceled.
Now, if that homemaker had an OnlyFans,
the culture is so different here.
The culture is quite different. So, what do you think? How many dual income families are there in the Philippines? Would you say on average?
Very little, I'd say.
Really?
80%.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wait, 80% of both people work or no?
No, I think he's saying
20%.
20%.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, if you want to stop being a third world nation, you might want to make some more money. You get some of these chicks need to get a job. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? There you go. Problem solved.
All figured out.
All figured out. All right. Do you want to move on to this story that I find endlessly fascinating? Although I might be the only one on the planet.
No, you're not. Okay, so I know we're all kind of a fan of online marketing, SEO, ads, and whatnot. Our first story is about a man that's also really into it, and you'll never guess who. It's Mr. Vladimir Putin. Apparently, yes, Vlad.
Yeah.
He does SEO, believe it or not.
He does paid ads. That's for fuck sure.
Between wrestling bears and killing people.
It's just
he's SEO.
How do we get the Russian government contract? How do we get that retainer? It's got to be pretty good, I would imagine.
I don't think they did.
Yeah. You'd be surprised.
They might. You'd be surprised.
Well,
okay, so if you surf,
are they using
that? I'm not sure about.
Sorry. Okay.
Go ahead.
He's that desperate. So if you surf the web in Russia, there are thousands of ads and propaganda to get you to serve the military, and their most eye-catching ad is 1 million rubles to sign up for the elite division.
1 million rubles. Yeah, so this is an ad to get you to sign up for the Russian army. 1 million rubles. I did some translation for you though, because I know the average American doesn't know what 1 million rubles is.
I don't even know what we're looking at. All I see is a man with a gun and some symbols and numbers.
So these numbers here indicate how much money you will get for a signing bonus, depending on which branch of the army or.
Well, how do we get 605,000 pesos or whatever that is?
That's a ruble.
Oh, ruble. Sorry.
1 million rubles equals $11,000, and I didn't think that was very much money to be killed by a Ukrainian, grandmother with a gun. But then, so $11,000 is about a down payment on the average Russian home. The average Russian home in Moscow, when I Googled average Russian home in Moscow, this was the first picture that popped up, goes for about 50 grand. So we're talking about 20% down. You're avoiding PMI. So as long as you survive the war.
What's the story with the core? Is that thrown in or?
I think they throw that in. Yeah.
Okay.
But then I was thinking, what kind of fucking crazy government has to bribe their people to sign up for the army? And you're never going to guess what I found. All right. So the army, initially they were offering 35 grand, right? Obviously that didn't work because then I saw one for 40 grand. I was like, man, it's not bad. But evidently that wasn't working either because it goes all the way up to $50,000.
But what's quick ship?
Quick ship?
Does that mean you leave today?
I think so.
And here's a question I've always had about this. I'm not being funny. When do you get the money?
Well, if it's a sign up bonus or sign on bonus.
I mean, do you walk in and you're like, listen, I'm here to join the military. Where's my 40 grand? They say, here's 40K, see you in 2 months.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked that question though, because it seems like they figured this out. For example, this is a sign-on bonus for the California National Guard. It's only 20 grand. And you know why? Because they're going to have to pay it out. You're not going to die in the California National Guard. If they're shipping you out, I mean, listen, the stats are still pretty low, but there's a chance. But here's the thing too. So they're running these ads in Kazakhstan as well. You know, so they have this thing. So they're offering not only $2,000 a month, but 50% compensation for rent, including complete renovations, free transportation, psychological assistance, free college education, vacation time, free gasoline, and so on. But they say that these essentially suicide squad missions, and you're never going to see the money.
I have a question though. Here's what I'm wondering. So I saw one for $195. Now, how much is that? Is that a couple of shekels as well?
That's not very much money. I don't think.
It's like $10.
Yeah. But did you see these ads are running in Kazakhstan? Did you see who's in charge of the Kazakhstani army?
He's been sleeping on the job. I have a question though. Here's a question. Why would Vlad be paying for SEO?
Well, I mean, listen, someone still has to pay Google to run ads, right?
Isn't he Google in Russia? Like he kills people that disagree with him. I can't imagine that he's like, well, we better see what Google thinks.
I don't know.
He's Google.
This article was endlessly fascinating too, because so what they did is the guy who they just killed, remember Porzing, whatever the fuck you say his name. So he was doing this thing where they were releasing prisoners to go fight in wars. Wasn't that's always your solution, Rodney, to wars, that we need to send over?
That's why I said pedophiles.
Pedophiles, the Appalachian.
They're on the front line.
Close enough.
It goes in order of crimes, right? You say to them, listen, you boys are good at an insurrection.
Yeah.
We got one for you.
Read that second paragraph, though. He's calling the average Russian. He goes, dandelion boys whose milk on their lips is still wet. And he goes, would you rather have a murderer go to war or your family members? So his whole thing is they're doing Suicide Squad. That's the plot of the fucking movie. You just release prisoners. If they survive the war, they get released. I mean, Russia is fucking nuts.
I know what you call it, the dandelion boys.
The dandelion
prisoners.
What'd you say?
We'll be the dandies.
For the dandies? We're going to war?
I never heard that phrase, dandelion boys, but I'm assuming it's because you have a taste for the floral arts.
Oh, it could be. Oh, is that what he's getting at?
I mean, I like dandelions. They're not my favorite, but you know.
I used to pick them in the outfield at baseball. Remember that? Remember those days?
They'd be like, get the ball. And I'm like,
this is one of those weird things where, like, if you need to pay it's payment versus patriotism. If you need to buy people to go to war, they're not going to be the best. You're gonna trick them. Oh, go ahead.
And the prisoners, I mean, here's the thing, right? And again, I'm not advocating for this, but I'm just saying, if you're going to put together a killing squad,
right,
the prison would not be the worst place to look, I think.
No, it's like, would you rather sign a baseball player who's played baseball before or an amateur, a rookie? No, you want someone who's done it. So I would imagine that murderers are pretty good at murder, having, murdered people before.
I wouldn't want to be around them, and I wouldn't want to transport them because they might murder you in the core.
Exactly. Did you we're doing business here. Did you get Ivan's message? I
haven't checked my messages.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You should do that live on air. Here's another interesting tidbit from this article. They say that the amount of permanent casualties on the Russian side, now that's either death or dismemberment, you're either dead or you cannot fight anymore, is 190,000 Russians. That's a lot, isn't it? 190? Now there's 150 million Russians in total. So when you compare it, it doesn't seem that crazy, but it's still a lot of dead in this war that they started. And here's the thing, the average Russian, what are you going to get out of taking Ukraine? Are you going to get more land? 40 acres and a mule? Like, what do you get if you win this war?
That's what I was always wondering from the beginning. Like, what is the purpose here? Like, and I was thinking that, like, if I was going to take over somewhere, I want to take over while it's intact. Everyone's always saying Russia has no money, everything's going down the tubes, this and that. Let's say that they do end up with Ukraine, right? What are they going to do with it? They're going to have to completely rebuild the place.
Well, all the major cities seem to be rubble. What the fuck are you going to do with this?
Right. What are you going to do? You're going to rebuild everything? That's going to cost. Who are you going to get the money from? Certainly not us.
I'm very confused about these wars of aggression where there's not oil, because they're not even getting oil out of this, I don't think.
I think they have some natural gases, and I think so. Russia is huge, but the problem with Russia is the land is not suitable for growing crops. But I think Ukraine has very good land for crops.
Right next door, it's fertile.
Here's the problem, Robin, and I think you understand this. There's not as much money in bread as there is in oil. Oddly enough,
that's the problem.
Oddly enough, I think Vlad is miscalculated again. Yeah.
You should really follow our lead. Should he just follow our lead and start invading countries with oil? Isn't that the better thing to do?
I mean, it just doesn't make it. I thought that a while back. I'm like, what is his game plan here? Does he want to be the world's biggest bread maker? What's the story, Vlad? Talk to us, idiot.
He just has a passion for gluten, and he can't get it. It's to pursue it.
He's like, if you don't serve gluten, get out.
Oh god, we're a bunch of big dumb idiots. He's got a baking problem.
He does. Hopefully he doesn't get a welding problem.
Welding, baking. Oh, the rich people.
Welding, baking. Yeah, it's
the rich people and their addiction. Speaking of addiction, look at this segue. A famous rich person has given up his addiction. His addiction that defines him in many ways. What's going on, Robin?
This one kind of makes me feel like we're living in an alternate version of reality because Snoop Dogg's quit smoking weed. So he asks also that everyone respects his privacy. I'd imagine that's something you say when you lose someone close to you, but it's weed.
Yeah, hold on. Vladimir Gluten.
No, that's good. That's really, really good.
How did nobody come up with that?
That's so good.
Garrett, you are a genius. No, Vladimir Gluten.
You know, Snoop Dogg just released or just put out, or he's doing a deal with some kind of smoking company.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, this tweet's hilarious. Really well done. Then I tried to find his weed company because I thought, all right, he's giving up smoking, but certainly he's not giving up edibles and everything, right? So I found this is leased by Snoop.
That's it. Yeah.
But there was this, but then there's also Death Row Records has put out a brand of weed. So
Death Row Records made songs.
Right.
Well, Robin no, it wasn't for you and me. It was for Robin. He didn't know. They also make wine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you know that, Robin?
Of course, I know Death Row Records.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know.
I just feel when people give up things, it's like this. And I know I've quoted this before. It turns out it's Frank Sinatra. I feel bad for people who don't drink when they wake up in the morning. That's as good as they're going to feel all day. That's how I feel about people who do nothing.
He had some really good quotes.
He really did. He's
yeah. Remember the one that says, I'm all for whatever gets you through the night, whether it's pills, a fifth of Jack Daniels. He said something. It was good.
Right. Frank Sinatra was a national treasure. I just find people that are sober, as a thing, not like I'm sober right now, but in general, if you're sober all the time, you're fucking weird. It's like homeschooled kids or CrossFit people or they're religious. There's always a filter, a sort of a weird thing around them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Do you see this with people? I don't drink. You just don't not drink. It's a whole thing. You're gonna talk to me about AA. It's just gonna be fucking weird. Just handle your shit. Just do the thing at the right time and shut the fuck up.
Here's the quote. I found it. I found the quote.
What is it?
I'm gonna put it in here. It says, basically, I'm for anything that gets you through the night, be it prayer, tranquilizers, or a bottle of Jack Daniels.
See, Frank has given us so much.
That.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
That's the spin.
Oh God, Frank Sinatra. I just don't think there's any way that he's going to continue to be sober. Right? He's 52. It's kind of that's his thing. You can't get sober. I mean,
he smokes a lot of drugs.
Yeah, I read it was 82 smoke breaks per day, and he specifically has someone on his payroll whose only job is to roll blunts. That's an addiction.
I'm sorry. Did you say 82 smoke breaks a day?
82 smoke breaks a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of smoke breaks.
Yeah,
I think it's probably easier to define when he's not high.
Well, now I know that's the problem. All these weirdos, CrossFit people are weird. People that bike are weird.
You know what happens if you meet a CrossFit vegan?
No.
You'll know.
Oh my God. Yeah,
they'll tell you.
They'll be like, I do CrossFit and I'm a vegan.
When people here's the thing about people that are sober. If anyone uses a thing as their personality, this is my problem with dog owners. Yeah, I'm not saying Rodney does it, but dog ownership as a personality, being sober as a personality, CrossFit as a personality, beards and sleeve tattoos as a personality. You know what I mean? That's that.
You have a great point. Give me 1 second.
Oh God!
We've got a special guest. Robin's going to bring out the tattooed sleeve man in his closet. He's been keeping.
He's a vegan. It goes to CrossFit.
Dog personality.
Dog owner. Yes, dog owner as a personality.
This is that your dog? In my living room. It is, yeah. It's my little Jaeger in a Renaissance outfit.
I love it. I love it.
But yes, Eric, you're 100% right. We're crazy.
Yeah, it's these certain things that drive me batshit.
Yeah, it's enough to do us all in.
Caesars, don't worry, everybody. It was he was super high when he so nothing. It doesn't matter. He has plausible deniability. He's the world is back on its axis.
Good thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and oh boy, I was worried. Snoop went from killing people to everybody's favorite uncle. This is weird, right? Just like George W. Bush. You know
what else is weird too is him. You know what's the weirdest thing is him and Martha Stewart.
Yeah,
remember Martha was in prison, and now they do commercials for lighters.
They're both felons.
Nachos,
and the most adorable couple in the world. I know.
Did she make like sheets, like bed sheets now or something?
Who?
Him? Martha Stewart makes everything. Get out of here.
Martha Stewart. Oh my god.
Martha Stewart is like, you know who Oprah is?
Yeah, of course.
No, I'm serious. Martha Stewart is like Oprah, but for the
house. Wide open.
But for the house, right? Like she makes wreaths and flowers and cooking and man, oh man.
So this is what I've said about Martha Stewart. I know that she's 100 years old, but she's still she's still hot because like you married to a woman. Every time you come home, there's an appetizer, there's a meal, there's dessert, there's a tablescape. She's made some sort of drink. I mean, that's
I don't know if she's still doing it though.
Well,
I think the workers are the helpers.
Martha Stewart, 1985. That would be. I mean, she's
like I was watching her I was watching her show one time on a flight. Mm-hmm. And she has like a staff of like 15 or 20 people, and they were putting together like this Thanksgiving thing, and it was unbelievable. And it was stacked with celebrities. And here's the thing, she lives in like some remote place in Connecticut, and people were flying in and all kinds of stuff to get there. And I was thinking like, wow, man, that's power.
I would say right behind an ayahuasca trip to Peru, a trip to Martha Stewart's house is up there in terms of things I want to do before I die.
What about an ayahuasca trip at Martha Stewart's house?
I don't think I can handle that level. That level of joy might shatter my.
We could make wreaths. Like she had this class where she brought Drew Barrymore's in, and her and Drew were making wreaths. And she's like, "No, do it like this." And I got to be honest, nothing against Drew Barrymore. Hers was terrible. And then Martha's like, "Hold on a second," and she's like, and I was like, "Wow, that looks incredible."
Why is incredible? Why is Drew Barrymore famous? Does anybody know? I mean,
she has a talk show now.
I know she was good in E.T. She was good in The Wedding Singer, but other than that, like, I don't know.
She was kind of hot back then, a little kind of.
You know, I think the weirdest people have talk shows. I really do, right? Like, and I'll just say this: Rachel Ray, like, why does she have a talk show? Right? It never makes sense to me. Then you have Kelly Clarkson. She's a great singer, but like, is she like a great interviewer? I mean, I just don't understand why she would be on. I like her. It doesn't make sense to me. And then Ellen was a comedian. Like, and I didn't have any issues with Ellen, but like, if I was going to give somebody a talk show, you want to give somebody like an incredible interviewer. You know what I mean?
Yes, so I would say that if you're a comedian, at least you can do the first 15 minutes and be funny, and then be a marginally good interviewer. With Kelly Clarkson or Drew Barrymore, like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're not a comedian, so what are you saying before?
Like, Kelly Clarkson is an amazing singer. Crank out albums.
Right. That's it. Stop. You're a singer. Sing. Don't ask why. Yeah, exactly. Why? Who goes? I bet Kelly Clarkson's great at talking to people. How could that possibly be?
The other thing I don't get either is that. Is that there'll always be like, well, you know, we're going to bring on this guest, we're going to bring on that guest, and it's always people that are doing things. You know what I mean? They're like, we got to do like for somehow or another. Jennifer Garner has a new movie coming out with that guy Ed Helms, right, from The Office, and that I think they've made 2 or 3 times already. Yeah, everyone switches places at Christmas.
This is another thing that bothers me. Howard Stern is a great interviewer because he does a deep dive. He gets things out of them. Aside from asking about their sex life and penis size, he's really interested in the guests, generally speaking. These surface level interviews with fucking goofy celebrities. Who watches this shit? What are you getting out of this? Talking to Ed Helms about his new movie. What could you possibly say that's interesting?
That's exactly my point, right? It doesn't make sense. And then remember like James Corden? Like he had I just saw he had the worst show.
James Corden is a doughy, unfunny fuck. How did he get on my television screen? It's shocking. He shouldn't be there. And then the carpool karaoke. Why am I listening to people sing poorly in cars? Why is that entertainment? Why is this entertainment? Why is anything entertainment? I don't know. Do you want to talk about the next thing? Oh, Robin, thank you for bringing up depression as something we need to turn into.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. Yes. This next one is depressing because it's literally about depression. So I actually had an argument recently with a friend about depression. So it's about, I'll get into the story. It's about 18% in adults that have depression, which is 1 in 6. That's pretty high. It's only going up. And for teens, it's sitting at about 21%. Now, the problem is there's no real tests or measurement to gauge someone's depression. But luckily, more and more people are getting diagnosed, treated, and getting therapy. So my argument with my friend was, he was saying that the newer generations are way too soft. Well, I do agree with them. I disagree with the fact that they just have to man up. I think properly diagnosing and treating depression with therapy and medication is a much more healthy way forward than just being told to man up. That's my only argument.
You could be onto something here. What I found interesting, so the numbers are all over the place, but generally what you said seems to bear out with all the statistics. What I found, so this is the percentage of Americans who took antidepressants the last 30 days. 65 and older represents the largest demographic in this, which I am shocked. It looks like the older you get, the more depressed you are. And that could be that you're death, or that you've just seen too much. I don't fucking know. Here's the other thing, though, before we get into the article. These are the most, the global antidepressant usage per 1,000 people. United States killing it at 110 per 1,000 people. Iceland, number 2, but I think we talked about why they might be depressed. This is their food. Like, if anybody has a reason to be depressed, it's the Icelandic. This isn't a bit either.
You know what's funny about this picture, just to say one more thing, is that perhaps we should move there, Eric, and introduce them to gravy.
Oh boy, I would love.
You know what I mean? Like, what is that thing on the left?
Well, somebody took an ice cream scoop, I believe, and got some mashed potatoes. So they don't look very good. I'm not know what the fuck.
What's the orange thing?
I don't know, but I think if anything could save this meal, it would be a nice gravy, a nice deep brown.
Are his teeth in his mouth?
You have to eat around the teeth. Oh my god.
You're like, this is a tasty one. Maybe I could use this one for later. Put it around my neck.
They're like bones and fish. Darkness and head cheese.
Darkness and head cheese. Yikes.
Okay, isn't this also just like haggis? Isn't haggis Scottish?
No. Yeah. It's Scottich. But I would eat haggis before I'd eat a fucking boiled lamb's head, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I got to be honest. You know what it is? I think the problem I'm having with that is that it still looks like a head. I would say if they brought out Jell-O pudding or a dessert, a chocolate cake, and it looked like that, I'd be like, you know what, guys? Mix it up a little bit.
Can't
work on it. Take it back again, and let's see if you can do something with it.
Right. Every other animal they process in some way, and so I don't have to make it. It doesn't look like a chicken. Like chicken nuggets don't look like a chicken. That makes it more palatable. Why the fucking head? Take the extra 5 minutes and cut the shit off.
My Spam doesn't look like this.
No.
When I make Spam.
National treasure. Shelf-stable pork products. But look at these countries. United States, I think there's a lot to like about us, despite the fact that I'm very critical. Never been to Iceland, but Australia, Canada, Denmark, Sweden, Portugal, UK. These are countries that are on the upper tier of the socioeconomic ladder. They're doing well. They're not at war. You know, the fucking air is clean for the most part. The water. People vacation in these places. It's
well, technically, we're not at war, are we?
Well, we're always kind of at war, aren't we? Are we just in a perpetual state of war?
We're either involved in other wars or fighting at home.
Yeah, we're war adjacent. We're always war adjacent. We have the military-industrial complex to feed. We got to feed the beast, so we can't get peace. But these are like in the terms of countries that you think are pretty good. These are them, don't you think?
Yeah.
And we're all fucking depressed. All right, do you want to see the list? Do you want to see what we're supposed to do if we're depressed? This is not me saying this. This is the article. So you need to commit to getting help. Lifestyle interventions can help. And by that, I mean exercise, eating better, going outside, being around people. That's obvious, I think. Don't give up and embrace appreciation. So lead a life full of gratitude for what you have.
You know what I heard a long time ago from a therapist? They told me that depression is fear not fear, anger turned inwards.
I could see that. Yeah. There's a lot going on. Better marketing and better economies. There isn't easily convinced these expensive. It could be medication, Marcus.
Yeah. I also say too, like people are always amazed when they see like American TV, how many commercials, because they'll be like, do your legs bother you at night? Do you wake up in the morning, you're tired? And there's always some stupid drug with some weird name and some song that gets stuck in our head, like, oh, epic.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, to Andrew's point, I mean, I've said it a million times on the show. United States represents 5% of the world's population. We consume 90% of the world's pharmaceuticals. When you have a for-profit healthcare system, then it behooves those who are selling medication to convince us that we need it. And lo and behold, we're the #1 country on antidepressants. And I would argue I don't know this, but we're probably #1 when it comes to statins. We're probably number one when it comes to a lot of intake of medication if we're consuming 90% of the world's pharmaceuticals. But we're also sad. So it's like part of this article too says that we're all on antidepressants, but we're still fucking sad. So they're not working. We're eating them. We're spending money on them. And we're pissed. So I did put together a list of the unofficial Eric and Rodney guide to depression alleviation.
That sounds right. I'm liking it already.
Here's the real list.
Here's the real list. So I start out with bourbon's psilocybin floating in a sensory deprivation chamber. I think it goes back to what Frank was saying, which is like, if you wake up and that's the best feeling you're going to have all day, it's not just, you got to take something else at the end of the day. You got to wind down. You got to feel a little funny. You have to twist the structure of the average day. Number 2, I think Rodney would agree, pickleball. Yeah. That's exercise. It's going out with friends, getting some fresh air.
It's whooping ass, snatching souls.
Whooping ass, talking a little shit.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Number 3, selling feet pics on the internet. I think a lot of people don't have enough money. They struggle to pay their bills, and that can be sad.
Oh, yeah.
One option, because we all have feet, is to sell pictures of those feet.
Robin has embraced that one.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Oh, and the one that really helps me, I know this doesn't apply to everybody, but watching the officially licensed NFL Super Bowl DVDs, particularly the Patriots when they won. I mean, these have saved me. I've been a fucking gun in the mouth so many times, but then I put on Super Bowl 36 and everything works out. And number 5, you got to watch the Eric and Rodney show with Robin from 10 to 11 Eastern Standard Time on LinkedIn Live, YouTube, Facebook, X, Craigslist, and OnlyFans. And I beat you to the
You forgot Patreon. You forgot Patreon. Or how do you say it?
Yes, for $10. Patreon, yeah. We should get on that. I know everybody
Restless depression legs. That's right. I also think too, like if you have, so I'll give you an example, and he's absolutely right. Like you'll say, like, for example, I have restless legs, and then you'll think nobody else has those but me. Yeah. And then you get depressed about it. So then you have depressed leg syndrome.
Yeah. Robin, you didn't know that? So
I've had leg spasms like when I try to fall asleep, but
you need drugs. Is that what it is? You're gonna need drugs.
If you were in the United States and you're watching Price is Right at like 11:30 on a Tuesday, you would see plenty of commercials for restless depression legs, and they would say, "Call your doctor and talk to them about restless depression legs." You would, and then they go, "Oh, absolutely, we have a pill for that."
It'd be like the restless depression legs lady was in here 2 days ago with some fresh peels and a pizza.
Isn't that strange? And then your restless depression would go away. That's the way the world works. I just
wait. So are we antidepressants?
No, I'm with Frank. Be it prayer, tranquilizers, or a bottle of Jack Daniels, whatever gets you through.
I'm with Frank as well. Whatever gets you through the day. I think the sad part about antidepressants is that the statistics bear out that they might not be working. There seems to be a profit motive. People are still sad. So I think it's neither A or B. I don't think it's binary, but I would agree with Frank. Whatever gets you through the fucking day. Life is hard.
Can I just say something that keeps getting me so sick when I keep laughing about it is that he says tranquilizers, and I keep thinking, I know, but I keep thinking to myself, like, you're sitting out there with the gun, right, with the tranquilizer in, and you're like, I'm gonna right. Remember in Dexter when they shot each other with the tranquilizers and they both fell asleep, and he's like, what are you guys doing out here?
You think he means horse tranquilizers? Is that what we're talking about here?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, he probably meant pills, but I'm just thinking, like, would someone be like, you know what, I don't have any Jack Daniels, I'm prayed up, where's the tranquilizer gun at? I'm gonna
all I have is this horse tranquilizer.
Yeah, like, yikes.
Let's just look at this while I load up the next pictures.
I got to be honest with you. You know what? I have a great weight loss opportunity here. It's just that this is your dinner every day. You're gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait it out.
I just love that Iceland is rampant with shitty food and incest by accident. Because again, we mentioned this. There's only 6 bloodlines for the most part. So you just you're fucking your cousin. You're eating a boiled lamb's head. Of course you're depressed. But what is our excuse? We have everything here. You know?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing I was thinking about when you said that the other day. I don't know of any Icelandic restaurants. Right?
No.
I mean, has anyone ever said to you, right? Like, I'm thinking about it. If people be like, Eric, this Italian place is incredible, right? This Korean place is Japanese, blah, 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 on and on, right? Indian, on and on. I've never heard anyone go to me. Have you been to the new Icelandic spot?
Never been.
They got heads on a stick over there. You're gonna love it. Right? Everybody's walking around with that thing on a stick.
And you get an ice cream scoop full of mashed potatoes and an ice cream scoop full of turnip, maybe? What is this? I'm not
Maybe that's their mac and cheese. It's just mac. There's no cheese. It's cheese sprinkles.
Your question about the teeth is killing me because what do you do with the nose? Why there's so many parts here?
Like, could you imagine? Like, I'll give you an example, right? Imagine you're around a table, right? Imagine you're around the table, and your father's like, Eric, I want the nostril, the left nostril. You're like, Father, I want that nostril, and your mother's like, I get the eye, and I'm like, I want the ears, guys, please.
I have to argue with my kids. As long as
it doesn't come like this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the eyelashes. There's so many parts on this head.
Yeah.
I'm sure listen, they can't all be bad, but I didn't have to do a deep dive. Just Google food from Iceland, and there's at least 25.
It's not great.
Google image this. This isn't me. I was gonna say I have to convince my kids to eat macaroni and cheese. Can you be like, eat your fucking lamb or no dessert? Yeah. Like, it has to be a conversation.
What the heck?
Yeah, just to clarify, Eric, I don't know how to share things here. Like, I'm not real good on the computer. I'm joking, but here's what I found for the first. Let me just drop this in here. Here's what I found for.
Yeah, you drop that and I'll pull it up.
Can I drop it in here?
I don't know. Can you put it in the private chat? Can you do pictures, or you can
send
it in Slack, and I can.
Yeah, but these are the first ones that I found after doing a quick little recon.
Yep.
You'd be surprised. I say it all the time, and people don't realize this, but people have said to me many times, Rod, how do you figure things out so quickly? And I always say it's Google.
Yeah. Google's a miracle worker. Did you drop it in Slack somewhere?
I'm trying to. I don't know what's going on here, guys. There we go.
This is the kind of show you get when we don't have a guest or when the guest doesn't show up,
Well, I just, what I'm wondering is that wonder what happened. When you think he's safe?
He did sign up for this time slot. I did send an official calendar invite, and I tagged him on all the corresponding marketing materials on the various social pages. So I'm not sure what more we can.
So he probably didn't know.
Right.
You're saying he didn't know?
I'm saying we made it too ambiguous, I would suppose.
I'm trying my hardest to get this picture. I'm coming with it, though. I'm going to get it.
Okay. I believe in you. In the meantime, do we want to move on to the next story? And then we can just go back because we have 23 minutes to tell us.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to be okay. I know it.
What's next, Robin?
Okay, this next article I hate it so much because it just shows that our priorities as human beings are so messed up. This article is about NASA, and they're aiming to build an entire subdivision of homes on the moon by 2040. Did we remind this out?
Well, reminding them on a Sunday, I don't know. Did we? I fucking what? Okay. First of all, Mike, you're right. Second of all, we're grown adults. Does everybody who has a meeting on Monday have to be reminded on Sunday? Like, I got a calendar full of things. It's on a fucking calendar. Like, I'm an adult. This guy's probably in his 50s. Like, why do I have to remind people? If I
want to bring up that guy that refused to use Calendly.
The guy that refused to use Calendly. What do we do? White men need to be stopped. We are such entitled bitches. Let me ask you this, and this isn't anti-Mike or anything, but if a 16-year-old has a shift at McDonald's on Monday, does McDonald's manager call him Sunday night and go, hey, listen, Bobby, you're going to be here at 9 a.m. You got some fucking hash browns to fry up. No, it's a fucking shift. You signed up for it. You should know.
I got to say, like, you got to.
Principal call me? No, I know he's got to go. Go ahead. What?
Maybe we should, instead of the cold showers, we should look into just get a calendar.
Maybe stop with the journaling. Stop with the cold showers. I'm sober. I wake up at 4 a.m. How about you just show up to fucking meetings? Let's start there. What?
Yeah.
Had a calendar.
You're not going to believe this, but I don't know if we stuck. I don't know if we stuck. If we just struck gold here, Robin. But unfortunately for us, the email provider we use, Gmail, Google Apps, whatever it's called now, they are kind enough to give us a calendar.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, we pay for it, but yeah.
So Garrett, this is another thing that bothers me. If we had any time before his cancellation, we could have got somebody to fill in, but instead we just trusted that he was going to show up because he's a grown adult. So you know what I'm saying? Like, we could have invited you, but I didn't know he was not going to show up.
Now here's another thing I'll say too, right? Just to recap here, we had a actor on here a couple of weeks ago who was on a book tour, and he somehow made it from his bed. I'm serious. Well, he made it.
The author The author of Sinister City couldn't tell the difference between AM and PM, which is why he was.
But he made it.
Late, but he did eventually make it. Unlike, the guy today who was going to come on has an email service provide, like his company's email, but you pay $5 a month and it doesn't have any spam. So that's kind of counterintuitive to what we're selling. Also, spam works, by the way. That's why we fucking do it. That's why everybody does it. Anyway,
I know that's why I eat it. I sure do.
Big fan of spam. Oh, this lights now. It's fucking me up. All right,
the lights are out. Did you get my picture? That's the first things I seen when I pulled up the good stuff.
Yeah, so okay, hold on. Yeah. So Andrew, you've got some explaining to do because all right, they might have great lamb, but hold on a second. Oh Jesus.
You know what? Maybe they should lead with the lamb. I'm no restaurateur, but I would lead with the lamb. Because the other stuff I see there's
have you tasted lamb?
Of course.
It's very
I ate duck
taste
over the weekend. We're eaters over here.
Yeah. I didn't know lamb was a thing at the States.
I think Eric was frozen there. He's back now.
I'm back. Sorry. This is what happens when I have to pull up the fucking pick monkey in the middle of a show. It shuts down the whole operation.
The whole thing goes down.
That goes to shit.
You know what I was going to say though? If we just to fill time, you could just ask me the questions you were going to ask the guests, and I'll try to improvise.
I'm going to. No, I think everyone's killing it. All right. Yeah. Okay, ready? This is what comes up when you Google. What did you Google? Food from Iceland. Okay, so it's not.
I said food from Iceland. And then it auto-corrected me.
Well, look, lamb's head. Yeesh. Not sure. Lamb's head and whatever the fuck this is. So 6 for 10.
And that one on the very end there, you see his teeth are still there.
Yeah. This one too. Teeth. Yeah. On the far right. The 6.
His teeth are there.
Why not remove the teeth in the kitchen?
I have a crazy idea. Why don't we just just sands off the head? Just don't even worry about it anymore. Let's use is there other parts? I feel like there's other parts.
Oh, that's a good point. What about the whole middle? You know, the middle we use in every other animal, pigs, cows, chickens. What about using that?
Disgusting. Yeah. Discard meat.
Oh boy. All right. What's the next story? So you were upset about us spending money on dumb shit, right? I mean, not us, but the government.
Well, sort of, you guys. It's America. So this is about NASA. They're aiming to build the first subdivision of homes on the moon by 2040. So it's not that long from now. They're going to be using 3D printing robots mainly, and lunar infrastructure is being heavily researched and tested. So they say on average, every extra kilogram, which is about 2.2 pounds, or about 6 oranges for you Americans. Obviously, this is going to cost it. So each additional kilogram costs an extra $1 million. That's a lot of money just to get stuff to the moon. And so this is obviously $1 billion industry. And why are we doing this when there are so many?
Hold on, is that vinyl siding?
Well, they're 3D printing it, so I'm not exactly sure what the material is. But this is what I say every time we have one of these let's live on Mars, let's live on the moon thing. All of the women, the bourbon, the beer, the cheese, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the drugs, the water, the gravity, the air, that's all here. Best case scenario, you find one of those things up there. You're not going to find it. Listen, if you want to live on the moon, fucking go for it. But I just don't understand the appeal. Look at this. It's shitty. It's small. You know how sometimes you leave the door open and you let the cat or the dog out? If you leave the door open here, you let the oxygen out and then you die. Plus, there's no water. All the water you ship up there, you're going to be pissing in, brushing your teeth with, drinking. It's a goddamn nightmare. And I just don't understand what we're looking for. You look out the window. It's this forever. Well, why?
I have a question now. Can you go back to the picture for a second? A couple questions. Where are the windows? Is this a windowless unit?
No, I don't see any windows here.
Now, here's the other question. What happens when you run out of ink for the printer? And where's the cord? Do they have an extension cord?
In the article, they go, there's no Home Depot up there, right? So like everything you have, you're gonna have to MacGyver the shit out of everything.
But can you believe, right? They're like, you have the cable? And they're like, we've been traveling for 500 years or 50 years and we forgot a cable.
That's exactly right. You forget one thing and it's 3 months away.
Yeah.
And I don't want to superheat dust. I just want to live on Earth where everything is fine. We've already fucked up. Can we stop fucking up the Earth? One, get this shit in order. and then we can go to space. Because what do you think we're going to do in the moon? We're going to pollute the fuck out of it. And we do everything else. Start bringing lamb heads and shit, stuff they don't need. Oh,
I'm all for exploring for space, but I got to be honest. It would have to be. This is not compelling enough for me to leave the world.
It looks.
I
like
haven't seen anything compelling enough to leave the world.
No, this looks like a shitty dorm room, and you know the internet access is going to be terrible, right?
This looks like a basement apartment in Queens with no windows for $5,000 a month.
You know why they have pictures of this? So NASA has, I guess there's 6 astronauts that have lived in this facility for 130 days so far. They're training to live on Mars. So I think we get to the moon.
Oh, they're not living on Mars now. They're here.
No, they're here. They're training. Yeah, but Garrett, and I think we talked to you about this when you were on. What is the appeal? Moon. I do like a nice ass.
Once or twice.
You know what? I will never be mooned on the moon, though, because it's going to be a bunch of dudes. It's going to be 6 dudes living here. They're going to get arguments over who's doing the dishes. You use too much water. You can't shower. It's going to be a nightmare.
It's just, I got to be honest. Wouldn't be my thing. And here's the thing, right? They're training. Like, this is the thing I don't understand. How do you train to go to a place that doesn't have oxygen?
Right. Or
hold your breath.
Well, how do you do it? Are you just floating around there the whole time?
Yeah, like it's like training for something that can't be replicated. I feel
yeah.
like, and even like when they were training for space, right? I was reading one time that like when they were doing like those movies and stuff, because you were only weightless for like what, a couple of seconds or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you can't really train. Here's the other thing too. You ever go into a men's bathroom anywhere? Everything is wet and covered in piss. Like I just went to the fucking movies. The urinal's right here, but there's a pool of piss right below. I don't know. Like, there's people just pissing on the ground. So imagine pissing in space when there's no gravity. Everything's going to be covered in piss, and it's 6
floating.
Guys. Oh my God. Piss fucking everywhere in your eyes. Oh my God. Yeah. Adventure. A piss covered adventure. I mean, everything is here. It's,
yeah. You want an adventure? Here's an adventure, right? Come to New York with no money and no phone for a weekend. Yeah.
Just like space.
Without any shoes on.
And covered in urine.
Yeah, covered in urine. And good luck. Let us know how it goes.
I think a lot of people live in that life. They live in the subways. I know those guys.
Yeah,
they smell bad. But here's the other thing too about living on the moon or in Mars. Death is right behind you. Like somebody pokes a hole in this wall, everyone dies.
Can I just say one other thing too? This is one other observation I've made, right? So you want me to give up everything here and go for an adventure so I can watch fucking TV in the kitchen?
or
we're gonna do the same shit that we're doing here. So we want to watch a Netflix special, but from space.
Isn't this beautiful though? You don't want to look at this all day for eternity? And I'll tell you this, you're never gonna get a nice lamb's head on the moon. This is it. This is your one. If you're up there,
that's a deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker.
It's moon rocks or you don't eat.
Well, they got Tang. Tang.
Do they still make Tang? They do, right? I'm imagining.
I didn't think Tang was very good. It's too tangy. It's a little bit.
It was a bit tangy, yeah.
It was a bit tangy. I think they nailed it. That's a very good description.
I used to eat it by the spoonful. How old is Tang? You guys have it in your childhood, or was it just Kool-Aid?
Yeah, when we were little.
I think
it was an alternative to Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's pretty old.
I think it kind of tastes
Kool-Aid was like, yeah, like my mom used to call Kool-Aid liquid cocaine because when you drink it, you're just like off the wall. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
It sounds like a woman who's never done actual cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to skip the Elon Musk story and I'll ask you some of the questions that make people fall in love with each other?
Are we going to
say yes?
Are we going to fall in love?
Well, we might all fall in love with each other after I ask these questions.
Well, I've heard that the energy between you and Robin was strong, I believe.
Sexual energy. The sexual energy between us is strong. Well, the sexual energy is about to get a little stronger here, Robin, because I'm going to ask you the first question. These are done by a pair of psychologists. They say if you ask a stranger these 36 questions, that you will fall in love with them by the end. Okay, so ready? Number 1, Robin, given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? Alive or dead? Anyone in the world, dinner guest.
Alive. Oh, alive.
You're going to a nice Icelandic restaurant. You're going to order the nice lamb's head. Who do you want to eat?
You're going to order the lamb head special.
Yeah, with extra teeth. This one didn't have his wisdom teeth pulled.
This might be surprising, but maybe Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain?
What? Get out of here.
Oh.
Kurt had stomach issues.
It just seems like
lamb's head.
He just seems like a very interesting guy.
Speaking of Kool-Aid, he colored his hair famously with Kool-Aid. So what would you are that big of a Nirvana fan, or you just think he's?
Yeah, I didn't know he liked Nirvana.
Yeah, I was when I was a teenager. Now not so much.
Were you into Crib?
Wow. Yeah, what year were you born?
97, which was the year he offed himself, I think.
I remember it well.
He offed himself at 94 because I was driving my Camaro on my way to pick up my girlfriend when I heard the news, and I was all distraught.
My girlfriend told me the news. Yeah, it was a big deal.
It might have been 95. 95, I think it might have been.
I'd Google it, but I'm going to freeze again. All right, so Kurt Cobain, that's very interesting. You want to talk about what? Music, depression? I mean, there's a lot of
music and depression. Yeah. I feel like if I just get a whiff off his shirt, I'll be high already.
That's true. You can talk about what shotgun shells taste like. He knows.
Think about the weather in Seattle.
Rodney, same question. Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest?
I don't know.
Kurt Cobain. What about Dave Grohl? And I'll do the third guy from Nirvana.
Chris Novoselic. Yeah, right. Is he still? I don't think he's singing anymore, is he? Or
Chris,
whatever.
no, I think Chris Novoselic. I don't know what he's doing.
I think he's a governor or something.
Can we ask a question to our panel? Mike, Garrett, Andrew, Alex.
I would say maybe if I pick somebody to go to dinner, I would say because my father passed when I was 4, so probably my father. If I was going to pick somebody, I don't want to get sappy here though.
Well, right. There's not a lot of. Well, I see. We're trying to fall in love with each other, so you don't have to worry about sappiness.
Yeah,
I will say this. I had a dream the other night that I was at a party and I was pouring out Jaeger bombs, and my grandfather was there, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll take one," and I woke up so happy. So I think dead relatives. Yeah, is probably a good answer. Or Kurt Cobain. That's fine too.
Or Kurt Cobain, a dead idol. Yeah.
I think okay. Controversial, but I think a dinner with Hitler would be interesting. Just to ask.
Oh my God, are you on a one-way mission to get us canceled,
Robin?
No,
single-handedly.
But just why? I just want to ask why. And
I you know what? I want to ask why. Why in the world would you want to have dinner with?
I bet he would have gone because I hate Jews, and then the rest of the dinner you're just spent eating lamb's teeth. Andrew, weird Frank Zappa thing. We talked to Ahmet Zappa last week about coming on the show, so listen, stay tuned. He hasn't gotten back to us. I don't think the meeting went very well. Oh, Elon Musk! You're never gonna believe what the next story was gonna be. Hold on.
Yeah, I think Elon would be a cool guest.
Yeah. You could talk about. Hold on.
Well, what's the next question? Are we going to the next question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say you could talk about how often he got laid in high school, which was never. I think George Carlin would be a really fucking great dinner guest. Here's my take on George Carlin. I don't think he's funny, but he's right. He's very right about everything. He's poignant. He's intelligent. He's correct, but he doesn't make me laugh, you know? Okay. So Hitler and your father.
Yep.
Would you like to be famous? And if so, in what way? Robin? Now you're already famous on the feet pick.
On the feet pick circuit, you're a celebrity.
I don't know. Rodney, you go first. I have to think about it.
Yes, I would like to be famous.
In what way, Rodney?
An actor.
Oh, you really want to be an actor, huh?
Well, you know.
I want the fame of acting, but I don't want to be other people. I think I'm more interesting than any role they would write for me. So I just want to be famous for being me, which is why I want to be Anthony Bourdain. I just want to travel, talk to people, eat good shit, have a couple lamb heads, hang myself in a Paris bathroom, that kind of thing. Robin?
I think I don't think I ever want to be famous.
You don't want to be famous?
I don't. Here's the thing, my social battery gets very low very quickly. So when
he's a receiver, remember?
Yeah, you're a receiver.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't that what he was when we did our charts?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is how little faith you have in this show. You're going, I don't want to be famous, but I'm going to do a daily show because I know this is going nowhere.
Well,
you motherfucker.
I'd like to be famous if it meant getting you guys famous.
Oh,
are you in love with me yet? There.
I've been in love with you since day one. As people have pointed out, the sexual energy here is crazy, which is strange because I'm generally not into young Filipino men. But listen, maybe I just didn't spend enough time around them. Roddy, what kind of would you be? A dramatic actor, a comedic actor? Whose career do you think you would want in terms of roles?
Well, I would. You know what's funny? I used to say Johnny Depp, but then here we are. And then I would say now Ryan Reynolds, perhaps.
No, Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, he's got a very strong brand.
Now, here's the thing I'll say is that this is why I would want to be an actor, is to make the money so I could come back and do the business.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a complicated.
Well, I mean, if you're making $20 million a movie, it's pretty easy to start a hedge fund or buy a company. It's like everyone's like, Ashton Kutcher's a genius. I'm not going to say he's not a genius, but he also had a lot of money. Okay. You know what I mean? Like if you have a lot of money, like having a lot of money to invest and do things like that, right? Significant sum of money allows you to be a genius, or at least viewed as one.
Like Elon Musk. Yes, exactly. Once you make a certain amount of money. So the story we didn't cover is him chiming in on the immigration crisis in Germany. Like, who the fuck are you? Nobody cares. Your opinion would be like our opinion if you didn't have billions of dollars. Nobody would.
Right. That's my point. Like I could post the exact same thing, right? I'll give you an example. I could post the exact same thing, and I've seen it happen. That a celebrity or someone famous will post, and people will be like, "This, he's a genius." And then with me, they're like, "Oh, what? Who?" They don't even think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this has nothing to do with the question, but this is the paradox of like sports. So LeBron James comes out and says something. He has some stance. People go, shut up and dribble. But if someone who doesn't have his power and fame says it, they're like, well, who the fuck are you? So what they really want is us to just shut the fuck up, whether you're famous or nobody else.
That's right.
All right. So I'm going to ask an easy one, and then we'll go into a slightly harder one. Do you have a hunch about how you will die? Do you have any idea? Do you have an inkling about how you're going to die? I'll go first. Heart disease. I got my blood taken last year. Holy shit. I am on the brink of death right now.
Are you taking cholesterol pills?
No, he gave me a year to clean up my act. As a matter of fact,
you guys go on them. You're not going to clean it up. You're not going to clean it up.
No.
I had this lady one time who was a neighbor, and she was like, my cholesterol's through the roof. And she was like, but I'm not going to take the drugs because I get leg cramp. I heard you'll get leg cramp. I said, your legs will cramp like crazy. I said, but would you rather your legs cramp or have a heart attack?
And be dead, right?
But she's like, well, I have to review the paperwork and see how the drug works. Then I said to myself,
no,
I don't think she's going to do that.
A medical doctor already read the paperwork, and he decided that's what you should take. So shut the fuck up. Robin, how are you going to die?
Probably heart disease as well, because it's a genetic thing in my family, particularly my mom's side, and I've done stupid stuff in the past. So.
Well, plus, if you're rolling the dice, if you're playing the numbers, heart disease kills all of us. Our own hearts attack and kill us, which is, I think you're going to go hold up with the Barefoot Bandits. I think they're going to
I was thinking they're going to get you this time. They're going to be like, there's that guy that escaped our rafts one time. We're going to get him.
All right, so Robin gets killed by the Barefoot Bandits.
I thought yours was going to be floating in a sensory deprivation chamber. A lot of people die that way.
Then they're fucking morons, because there's 8 times the amount of salt as the Dead Sea. If you were so fucking stupid that you managed to die in soup, then what?
Let me ask you a question though, right? I've never been in one, but isn't it like really, really, really shallow? Like you ever see people like, I'm drowning. I'm like, can you stand up? Stand up.
Wait, they have discount services on cremation? They should. They should run a Black Friday deal.
Remember the Jerky Boys when he would call up cremation service? He's like, can I get a group discount? Those guys were great. Remember that? Remember the Jerky Boys? Oh, they were great.
I looked up the Jerky Boys discography the other day, and I think there's some I missed. I'm going to go back and.
They're probably in jail now, or canceled. I know they definitely have been canceled. They had to have been. They were great.
They
were incredible.
All right. I think only one of you is going to have time to answer this question, but what would constitute a perfect day for you? Let's go with Robin. Robin, what's your perfect day? You wake up, then what happens?
Yeah, let's go with Rodney. Mine's not
Ash Wednesday.
Perfect day would be where we just did the show. Next.
Did the show, take a little nappy nap, get a little drunk.
Well, did the show, did some more shows, signed some stuff.
Hear me out about the show. We schedule a show. The guest shows up. Oh, right off the bat, it's a pretty good day, right?
Yeah, we're batting 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing about the perfect day. Mine would you have your children and your wife and your family, but then you also have drugs and hookers and cocaine. I guess that's the same thing. But you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the perfect day? I think you need 2 days. I think you need a day of debauchery.
You need a week.
You need a week. Yeah. It's like who would you have dinner with? You need a dead relative. Like, you just get one of those, and then also a celebrity, because it's too hard to choose, isn't it?
Yeah. I think you get 3 people.
Yeah. I love that Robin is Hitler and Kurt Cobain.
Yeah. You want to throw Napoleon in there?
Who? Napoleon?
Yeah, you want to throw him in there? You know what? I can usually. I'm going to tell you. Oddly enough, I think the underlying theme for most shit like that is power, but I could be wrong.
Well, powerful people are inherently interesting, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like this dude before he had power was this guy. With like strip everything you know about his name, about what he owns. If you looked at this guy, under no circumstance would you go, that's someone I'd like to talk to. He's probably an incel, right? He whacks it to anime, but then he gets $1 billion. You're like, oh, Elon, what do you have to say? Isn't that interesting? Aren't you so smart? But really, he's this guy plus $1 billion.
Well, several billion.
Several billion. Anyway, we went over the hour. We made it without a guest. Oy vey. Anyway,
we had a guest. We had a guest. We had a lamb's head guest.
I'm gonna change the thumbnail on the thing to the lamb's head. He was really the hero of this whole thing.
That's our family crest. Boiled lamb's head.
We do the logo of the show to the lamb's head.
Grilled lamb head.
All right, we got
head, which is
the teeth, the lamb's teeth. Do you suck on them?
The chips.
You know how, oh god, you know how with lobster you take the little things and you suck the goo out of them? Do you think you suck the goo out of the teeth on a lamb's head? How intimate are you getting with this lamb's head? You're already eating it, right? I mean,
that's a good point.
Tongue? Do you eat the tongue?
Hey, okay. Don't shit up. Lengua is great, by the way. Have you never had lengua?
I don't know what that is, but I did have beef tongue tacos at a very authentic Mexican place.
That's lengua.
They tasted like bologna. It wasn't entirely unpleasant. I mean, I eat the rest of the cow. Why do I stop at the head, I guess?
No, it's because you're quitting.
Yeah. People from Iceland don't quit.
Don't be a quitter.
Don't be a quitter. Be an Icelander. All right. We will see you tomorrow, America. Maybe the guest shows up. That'll be exciting. Rolling the dice. Anyway, have a lovely Monday. Goodbye.